Welcome to a Pod of Tea podcast, your go-to place for tea and chats. I'm your host Emma, and I am joined this week by none other than Mr. Jack Ewins. Hello, Jack.
Hello again.
Welcome back to a Pod of Tea. You couldn't stay away from the steaming teapots and the delicious beverages.
I couldn't stay away in my own house.
In your own house.
You
do live here.
We live here.
Yeah, we do, together. That's what happens when you marry.
I was just walking, past the living room door and you're like, Jack, you're back. You're like one of those people in a, TV show where they're like reading something and they look up at the camera and go, oh, I didn't see you there.
I haven't been sat here waiting this entire time. No, that's not what happened. So I had an epiphany, Jack, with these podcasts. So this is episode, I want to say 9.
9 already? Bloody
yeah,
heck.
I've been doing it. So this is the first time I've done a podcast, and I have been pondering the form and what I've been doing. And I came to the realisation that the emphasis was too much on the chats and not enough on the tea.
Right.
Which, when I have a teapot logo and put tea at the forefront of what I'm saying, I think it needs to switch around. So today, the only agenda, the singular agenda, and chats will be a consequence of this.
It's a podcast. That's all it is.
It's just chatting away. The only agenda is to review a tea. And then we'll see how that gets us. How that gets us going. And it's I have never tried this tea before.
I have.
I have.
But only because, do you want me to give a brief context?
Yeah, do some context. The bringer of the tea.
So where I was working, there was this big Indian group come in and they were watching a band and they brought their own tea in to the venue. And I got chatting to one of the old guys who was there, and he was like, "Do you want to try this Masala tea that I've got with us?" And I was like, "Yeah, definitely." I said, "But by the way, my wife runs a podcast," and I was like, "Could I get a spare packet for the podcast so then we can talk about it?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." But he brewed me one there, so I have tried this.
Yeah.
But he has donated one to this episode, and it is really nice.
I'm really excited.
He said not to have it with milk, but I had it with milk because I'd already got milk in my cup ready because, I put milk in my tea.
Yeah, Jack's a heathen.
I put my milk in first with the bag. It doesn't matter. That's my conclusion.
Does.
No, it
so
doesn't.
It changes the tea. I think
How?
My theory...
It's very good to...
I will tell you how. This is not based on any type of scientific fact that I've found out, but my good friend Google might give us some more answers. But in my mind, if you put the milk in first and then a tea bag, the milk will clog up the tea bag with its fatty milkness, and then the water will go in and it won't brew as efficiently as if you didn't put the milk in. That's what I think.
But I've seen absolutely no evidence of that, and you've never once complained about my tea.
Jack, I would never complain about a tea.
But you can tell, listeners, that we've had this conversation before. I would never want you to drink a tea and and if I was making it bad, you got to tell me because then I'd make a better.
They're really nice. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not an enjoyable brew. It's a very nice cup of tea.
Well,
I'm just saying that mine are better.
Yours are better.
Yeah. With my amazing method. That was ungrateful. I'm sorry.
I honestly think there's no difference. I can't because I can't taste the difference.
We need to find a scientist, and we need them to conduct a series of
Maybe there is answers out there. I've never really looked it up, but I've been going off.
We will blind taste tea. That's what we're going to do. Another podcast. We're going to sit here and we will blind taste the tea.
We should. Well, I say we. It's your podcast, but we should get like a group.
A group of people. I might get
maybe
a few...
Hannah and Dave.
Yeah,
might be up for it.
I'll get a few people together. We'll blind taste the tea and
see once and for all whether putting the tea bag in with the milk.
Yeah.
Or putting the milk in before putting the boiling water on the milk and then putting the tea bag in.
That is just madness.
Yep. Or putting the tea bag in first and doing it like the traditional, I'm doing air quotes, traditional way.
Traditional way.
I don't think there's a difference, really. Once you brew them, they have to be brewed for the same amount of time, though.
Yeah, but
has to be strict scientific.
Yeah, we'll do exact same brewing time, same water that had just been boiled, all that sort of stuff. We'll do that. So, yeah, we've got that to look forward to. So this tea you haven't put milk in. Now, I put it as per the packet instructions, and it says just add hot water. It doesn't say anything about milk.
That's what my point was, that I had the milk in my cup. And then the man was like, "Oh, I'll make you one of these," and he just poured it straight in.
Oh, straight into the cup
with the milk. So
yeah. We haven't actually said this yet. This is a Masala instant premix tea by Unique. I'd say Unique is how I do.
I'd say.
Oh wait, a eunuch is a. I don't. It's not spelled that way. This is not a eunuch's tea. No. It's spelled UNIK.
Yeah.
Unique. And I like that underneath that it says, it's really unique. Well, by the fact that I just spent a minute trying to pronounce Unik, I would agree. That is very unique.
Let me have a look at this. Because the packet it comes in kind of reminds me of like old tobacco packets that you would get. It's really weird.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Masala, yeah. Unik. That's how I would
You'd say Unik.
Unik.
So, yeah, it's in a packet. It's in a sachet. And it says the rustling sachet. Yeah. And it says just add water. So that's what we've done. We're going to go by the instructions on the packet. And I did have a cheeky sniff of it before I put the water in. And it smelled really nice. It
is really nice.
Really good. So here we go. We've got the tea. And we're going to pour it. It's for like one serving. So this isn't a generous amount of tea I'm about to give you.
We've got small cups.
I've specifically used the small cups today.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. I'll do that because I know you like this tea. So if I don't like it, there's some left in the pot and then you can finish it.
Okay. I want you to try it first because I've already...
Oh, it smells so good. You know what it smells like? Chai tea.
Well, that's the thing. It reminded me of the tea that we had in Japan. That one that you talked about in episode 1 about the like flower.
Yeah. Oh, the matcha tea.
Yeah, that's what it reminds
Although your
me.
one that was all milky.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very that smells very spicy.
Because I know I like it.
So I love chai tea. It's one of the best chai teas I've ever had. So often you go to like a chain, a place to get hot beverages that's a chain. Mm-hmm. And they'll do it from like this, I guess, an instant mix chai tea. And it's very sweet and sugary and delicious. But the best chai tea I ever had was at a place where they did it it was a tea bag and they brewed the tea bag in a hot milk. So it was a full-on tea latte.
Are you telling me they put the milk and the tea bag in together?
There was no...
And they boiled it together at the same time?
No.
And that is one of your favourite teas? Yeah. Well, I'll like to just take you in my little time machine here to about 3 minutes ago.
Well, no, it's because there's no milk. No water was getting a look in, sorry. There was no water involved in that tea.
Technicality.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to try this tea now.
But that's chai tea.
This is really hot.
That should have been your argument. It's chai tea, not like an English breakfast. Because I'm assuming when we do this experiment...
We're going to use it. And I vote a good quality.
Standard, normal...
I think a nice...
good
brand.
It was just like... PG tips or something. That's what I was thinking. Oh, she's going in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go in too.
Oh, now that is very nice. Now, I had, because of drinking so many chai teas, and it honestly smells just like, if you've had one, a chai tea latte, I was expecting a sweetness instantly because of the spices on my nose, but that's not sweet. That is just
I'm going to say
tasty.
I actually preferred it with milk.
Did you?
Yeah. So I don't know because we've got a bit in the pot. If you want to drink this one, and then maybe I get. And then
go get some milk. Yeah, shall we? I mean, this looks pretty.
Can we get that now?
If you want to. I mean, it looks pretty creamy. So I don't know if actually in the sachet there is milk in it already. This doesn't have the ingredients on it for me to... Who knows what I'm drinking right now? There is no ingredients on this sachet, Jack.
Okay, I've got milk.
We're going to have to...
Well, it said not to be sold separately, so it would have come in the ingredients would have been on a bigger box that they brought with them.
I might have to Google this. And I'm going to drink this first bit without milk, and then I'll add milk afterwards.
Yeah. I just added a little bit.
You've added milk. Let me know how that changes. I am now just quickly looking up this tea. So I can find out what it is we're drinking.
That's how I remember it.
Masala tea. Oh, look, it comes up straight away.
I think the milk makes it a little bit more creamier. Like it ups the creaminess. It doesn't really change the taste.
Oh, and you can buy it sweetened or not sweetened. I'm guessing we have the unsweetened. So I'm going to put in ingredients. And maybe it's going to come up. Skimmed milk powder. Okay.
So it's got,
Yeah, coconut oil, black tea. Oh, so it's a black tea. You know what? I can taste that
So
with my refined palate.
So that's why it shouldn't have milk in it.
No, black tea. We had milk black tea.
Oh no, yeah, you can. Yeah. Okay. Well, you're the expert.
The standard tea that we drink is black tea.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna try that again now with my knowledge. It's funny how you read the ingredients to something and it's instantly going to change how it tastes. It's got natural spices: cinnamon, cardamom, ginger, nutmeg, black pepper and clove, and that is why it is so delicious, because those are all wonderful, wonderful spices. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am into this.
Can you order any online?
You can.
So maybe...
You can also get it from Tesco.
Oh, really?
So
that's probably where they got it from.
Yeah.
I was like talking to this Indian family, and it's like, they brought it like all the way from the other side of the world.
Jack, the packet's in English.
No, I know. I'm just saying. It's like I was like, Emma, I've got this really exotic tea, and it's like, it's from Tesco. It's just down there.
Yeah. No, I'm thoroughly enjoying this tea. I'm gonna have some more. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to say something while I drink my tea.
Well,
there's pressure on. Go.
I like it. The milk does add a little bit more creaminess to it. That's what I'm gonna say. It does. Well, because it's already got the powdered milk in it, but you add a little bit of fresh milk to it, and I think it. I don't know. This is me. This is my mind now working. I think that ups the semi-skimmed powdered milk. That must be what's the word I'm looking for? It enhances. That's it. Yeah. Enhances it. So Enhances.
I've lived in Norfolk for too long now, and I can really, unfortunately, whereas before I used to hear, the way you would pronounce your A's and the way I pronounce my A's, not that much. Now it feels really heightened, and I feel quite self-conscious when I'm talking, and I'm not going to change.
You mean like the whole...
like me saying enhances and you saying enhances. Enhances. Yeah, bath. Bath and bath.
Yeah.
Sounds so posh. Yeah. But no, it's sticking out to me now. So I need to try this with the milk.
What would you rate? Are we going to rate this?
We're doing a rate. I haven't done a rating. So see, this is why. This is the error of my ways. I sat here pondering about doing a tea podcast.
This is good that we're doing this episode, because then we can talk through what the stakes are for future episodes. So you'd rate a tea.
Yeah.
Is there like parameters for rating it? Because you've got so many different types of tea.
Yeah.
This is a black tea. So would you put it on a rating scale that only includes black teas?
I think that is getting very specific.
Well, could you compare this to like an English breakfast or an Earl Grey?
Yeah, I think it's drinkability. Like, tea. How many... how often would I... Because sometimes you try food or you drink something and you're like, okay, that was an experience. And
so, there's a good one. Would you recommend it?
That's I would definitely recommend this tea.
So out of 10, how would you recommend it?
I would recommend this... You know, it's up there. I'd say a solid 9. I don't see hardly any situations where I wouldn't recommend someone to drink this.
Damn,
I've hit it. I've hit it hard.
Yeah, it's a good.
I've hit it hard.
Out the gate with quick 9 out of 10.
One thinks that my love of tea might slightly mean that there aren't many low numbers. I don't know. It's very rare that I drink a tea that I don't like.
Well, that's why you're doing this podcast. Yeah. Because you've got to see if you can find, not specifically see if you can find ones that you don't like, but see if you can find any that you don't like.
I know. Yeah, I have my suspicions. I know there are certain teas that I kind of avoid.
But I think for the purposes of scientific research, Emma, you should know.
As I said, we're not podcasters, we're scientists.
Yeah. So you should try evereverything. Like even if you should get a tea that you know you don't like.
Yeah.
And see how you feel about it, because you might have changed over the time.
Yeah. It's like olives. It's just like olives.
Explain.
No one likes olives when they're a child, except for a 4-year-old that I taught a little weekend drama school, and she came in and they used to bring a snack in, and she brought olives, and I was just like, oh my gosh, you like olives? And she genuinely turned around to me and went, I am Portuguese. I was like, you're amazing. But yeah, she's the only child I've ever met or have ever known that likes olives, because you just don't. And then you get older and someone makes you eat one. No one eats an olive. Many people, I'm sure, will correct me on this, but no one I know eats an olive out of choice. Someone goes, oh, go on, try it. You're like, no. And then you try it, and then you become addicted because they're amazing and salty.
I'd never really... I just looked at an olive and I didn't want to eat it. When I was a kid, I had like a preconceived taste in my head of what it was going to be like. And then, I think it was when I first started we first started dating that you got me to try an olive.
Yeah, sounds like something I'd do.
Yeah.
Jack,
and
try this.
I was like, or maybe I think I tried a few in my teenage years, but I know I was like, no. But then I don't know what happened, but you fed me an olive, and I was
fed you.
I was
As you
smitten.
lay
I was
on your
smitten.
chaise lounge, dappled lash around you, fed you olives.
What a singular olive.
Singular. That's all you needed. But yeah, olives are great.
Black and green. I don't actually, saying this, I don't really like the really big olives though. You know,
really? That's where we differ, because I always end up trying to buy, like, as a treat, I'll buy the big olives.
I think they're too much.
Too much olive.
Well, no, because there's a certain, I like the sauce, and not sauce, but whatever that liquid pickly stuff that they come in. I don't know what you would call it. It's not
brine.
Brine, that
you
is
would
brine.
Call that, yeah.
Is brine. But like with the big ones, there's not, the brine, it pours off too much.
It's
so it's like,
oil usually in the big. So brine is when they're in a jar. And
yeah,
welcome to the Pot of Olive podcast.
What I mean is the big ones, like the oil, it doesn't stay on them as much. The oil's part of it. I see it whenever I eat an olive. I always make sure there's a little pool of oil in
There's
it.
something quite dark about the olives being stored in olive oil. Those poor olives.
Those poor olives.
Those poor olives. Yeah, I'm gonna have some more tea,
but
I'll try it with the milk. Now, milk in first. You renegade! You've gone against everything you believe in.
There's already milk in it. I will take it.
That's true. That's true. Right, splash-o milk. There we go. Jack is pouring.
I'm only going to pour a little bit in my cup.
Yeah. Oh, that's very nice.
Because I've already poured a little bit extra in mine. So.
Okay.
So you can have the.
So we are using the teapot, the Wizard of Chelsea teapot that my younger sister bought me for my birthday, and what a gift! It's so nice. So it's made of glass. I'll put a picture up of it. Made of glass, and you put a candle in the bottom, and it keeps the tea nice and warm, which is perfect for doing a tea podcast, because you inevitably start talking and then your tea will go cold. So that is an issue of the past, which is wonderful. I think I put it on my Instagram the other day in my delight at having permanently warm tea.
Yeah,
I'm going to try
really
this
cool.
now with the milk.
It's only a subtle difference.
Oh, okay.
It's a subtle difference.
Now, I will enjoy this, but I think on first tasting, I would prefer it without.
No. Mine's solidly in the milk.
That's lovely.
Court.
I love spiced tea, and what I'm enjoying about this one, and it's because it is a instant mixed tea, so it's not brewing, is sometimes I get a chai tea and I leave the tea bag in for too long, and then it just gets overwhelmed with, like, which is the spice that does it? I'm not sure which one it is, but one of them just ends up overwhelming the others, and you're like,
In the vein of reviewing this tea, right? I'm just gonna give it a little sniff.
There you go, guys.
Do you get a cinnamon?
Yeah.
Like, well, is there cinnamon? There wasn't cinnamon in it.
The cinnamon, I think, was the first spice that I read out on that
Oh,
list.
really?
Shall I get it up again?
Sorry. I'm smelling it. I'm like, there's cinnamon in this, I think.
I tell you what, there's cinnamon in there. Yep, cinnamon.
Okay.
Cinnamon, cardamom, ginger, nutmeg, black pepper, and clove. It might be the clove. Yeah.
Okay,
it's
so
good.
there
There's
is
all
cinnamon.
sorts of, there's things in here that I would not normally... What is a stabiliser? I don't know. But there's things in there that I don't understand.
What is a stabiliser?
So it's amazing how, like, you get all this, you know, we buy food and stuff, and if it comes in a jar or in a packet, it's got all this mystical writing of, like, this, that, and the other, and I don't know what it means, and I still eat it. Which is quite worrying, really. You don't know what you're eating.
Well, I guess as long as you're fine.
Yeah, as long as you're okay. I'm going to have to go on a Google journey after this and find out what all these things are.
Well, it's not even finding out what they are, but what they do.
Yeah.
Like, what's their role in their
I remember learning that Wotsits send young children doolally because of things that are in them. And
Really?
I would stand by that because, again, so I used to work a lot with children doing workshops and things, and I used to run an after-school club, and there was this one kid who was amazing. It was a drama club.
Give him a Wotsit and he turns into a
Yeah,
monster.
his parents would give him Wotsits as a snack before he came to after-school club, and the difference after he ate them, it was like, good God, calm yourself. Eat an apple.
What's up with you?
Yeah.
That didn't work.
What was that meant to be?
The what's it? So I said what's
Oh,
up.
that's a good pun.
No, what's up? That's a completely different word.
What's it? What's up? I like bad jokes.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of bad jokes. I had to put some jokes on something at work recently, and I found a joke, and no one laughed.
Go on.
Did I tell it you?
Go on.
I'm going to tell it you again. I'll tell everyone. Please tell me if you laugh at this joke. Okay. What do you call someone who loves chocolate?
What do you call someone who likes chocolate?
Cocoa nuts. Aha!
I get that. That's appropriate for the age demographic of where you
I
work.
work.
Yeah. Okay.
They'll find
that funny.
That's good, I think.
Oh my word! We're on to bad jokes. It's only episode 9 now.
Oh, I know. What's going to become of us? Yeah. So what else is in the new world of me and you? So
I have a subject. But
go for it.
What were you
I was going to launch into a chat about Lizzie because
my lizard.
I just looked over there. So Lizzie the lizard loves. So she's a gecko.
A leopard gecko.
A leopard gecko, and she loves a kitchen roll tube. I think we gave her the first kitchen roll tube a couple of Christmases ago.
Yeah.
And she will move it around. She will just sit in it all day, and then geckos kind of perpetually look like they're smiling, and she'll just sit in there looking as content as can be. And then yesterday, was it? Yeah, it was yesterday. We came in and we looked in the tank, and Lizzie wasn't in her tube. She was sort of shamefully in the corner, and she'd had a little accident in that tube.
Yeah.
And we could not, as responsible gecko parents, leave that tube in there. So we had to put it in the bin. And she was... Oh, I mean, you can't really...
She was pacing.
Yeah, geckos don't normally show much emotion. Being a
if
lizard,
any emotion.
If any. But she was pacing up and down, she was looking for a tube, and we didn't have another kitchen roll tube, so the only tube we had was from a toilet roll, which is much smaller, and it is safe to say that she was not impressed.
I'm not one to believe that she actually has much deep emotion. She's a gecko. But I saw her... What I can only describe in a huff.
Yeah.
Pushing this little toilet roll tube around her tank with her nose and then not getting in it. Mm-hmm. And then we went to my mum's in the evening, didn't we, to see them?
Yeah.
And she happened to have an empty kitchen roll tube.
Thank goodness for Tracy Newell.
Yeah, so she gave that to us, and then I brought it home. I replaced the little toilet roll tube, which I'd already taken that out, hadn't I? Because she just wasn't using it. And I popped the kitchen roll tube in a tank, and I kid you not, within 1 minute, she was in it.
Yeah.
She was in it, just straight away. I think maybe it's something to do with the heat that on the cardboard from the light.
Yeah.
That the inside is maybe just the right temperature.
It's also super safe. She's all enclosed. There's no
kid you not, she is
sticking
currently walking towards her tube right now.
She is. Look at her. She knows what's going on.
She knows we're talking about it.
About the tube.
Yeah.
That's Lizzie.
Yeah, no, my 26-year-old. Well,
26.
This year.
She is 26.
I got her when I was 4. Yeah, so 26 this year.
Crazy.
I always say June because I can't remember when I got her.
Yeah.
But I always just say June because that's when Jurassic Park came out.
Yeah.
So I'm I wanted a dinosaur when I was a kid after seeing that, so I'm assuming it might have been later in the year, but
she's looking at us now. It's like she knows. She, in 26 years, perhaps she has actually learnt her name.
God, that'd be awesome.
She's like, Lizzie, yes.
What?
That's how she talks.
I always imagine that's how she talks. Hello, Jack. That's it. If she talked, that's how she'd do it. Where's my soup gone? Where's my soup? Yeah. By the way, just for any listeners out there, I do not do that voice around my lizard.
He does. No, he doesn't.
No.
He does.
Okay.
Yeah, Lizzie.
I sing to her. Yeah. I think she hates me. But
oh, she loves you. You gave her a new rock recently as well. They're very easy to please, a gecko. Yeah. But also very easy to upset if you remove the kitchen roll tube. So,
but if you do have a leopard gecko out there, then I highly suggest a kitchen roll tube.
Yeah,
they freaking love it.
Yeah. What were you going to talk about?
Oh, it would go off on a whole big tangent.
Let's do it.
I was going to bring up Overwatch.
Overwatch. Oh, okay. Yeah, Overwatch is made for cups of tea.
So I just to give a little bit of backstory to this. You've never really been a big fan of first-person shooters.
No, so games. Overwatch, if you don't know, is a video game.
Yeah,
It's one you play on a computer. And I do very much enjoy video games, but Jack is right. I don't usually like ones that involve guns. I tend to like ones that are a bit more cartoony.
You don't mind games that have guns, because Zelda technically uses a gun, because his sword shoots...
Zelda's not a gun.
Yeah, his sword in the first Zelda game shoots bullets out at the end, or like light bullets out at the end.
That's not the one I played.
No, but what I'm saying is like you wouldn't be opposed to it in some other games, like you know Mario and stuff has like the fireballs. There's technically like gun, but you don't like the realism of it.
Yeah, and the actual like format of playing as a first person shooter either. I usually play platform games,
and I think you sort of built up this sort of you know negativity towards first person shooters. Because you've been playing them on consoles.
Yeah.
Playing them on PC, completely different with a mouse and a keyboard. But anyway, I was telling it, I got heavily into Overwatch a couple of years ago after our friend Hannah and Dave introduced me to it. And I've been playing it since then. But for ages, I've been like, Emma would really love to get on this. And you played it a little bit, like a while back.
I had a little go, and if you've never played Overwatch, have a look at it online. It is impossible to follow until you've given it a bit of a go. It is like jumping in to a frenzied ocean of colour and people light and just it's absolutely, and you've no idea. Still to this moment there are points where I'm playing and Jack is sat next to me and I'm going, where am I supposed to go? There's like a big arrow on the screen that points to where you go, but I'm so panicked by everything that's going on.
But well, that's also because you've got to get used to the maps. Like the more you play it, the more you get. There's like, I don't know, there's like 10 or 12 maps in total. So once you like, they're obviously adding more as they go, but once you learn them, you sort of know where all the health packs are and all that. But anyway, point is, I got you replaying it recently, like only a few weeks ago. We sat down and went, let's really get you behind it, and you're now obsessed.
Yeah,
you love it with me.
Actually hooked.
And you've reignited my obsession with it. I played a couple of games not a few minutes ago, didn't I?
You did, as I came home, you were playing some Overwatch.
It kind of forces players to play as a team because your character is limited. Like each character can do all these different amazing things and they're all really unique, but you can't do really much with them aside from what you're given.
You need, if your team isn't working, then it's the team that's letting it down. It's not an individual. You don't feel
like, you do get like, show how many kills you've done, or you do get like player of the match and stuff like that, but like no one's gunning to be player of the match. Like it's not like you really want to be player of the match that badly. What you want is to win the round.
Yeah.
That's how
Unless you're me, who hadn't got player of the match ever, and I was starting to feel like the game didn't like me. And then I got it and I was very happy. Well, my middle child syndrome was sated.
Let's give you some credit where credit's due. You were playing on my account and I am ranked up. I don't know what I am now, but I've been playing for a while. Oh, so no. you're going to sneeze?
Nope. No, I'm okay. I have an incredibly loud sneeze and I will not do that to you guys who are listening. Oh, God.
But no, my point, you're going to do it.
No, I'm okay.
You might as well sneeze and then just cut
fine.
it out.
It's gone.
Okay. I was giving you credit because, like, you joined the game when you were playing matches against people who were of my level. So, like, you were saying you weren't getting player of the match for ages. It's like, it was because you were just rekindling, like, just your introduction to Overwatch and then getting into it. And you're playing against players who are, you know, who are going to be, like, 3 or 4 steps ahead of you.
It's quite funny when me and Jack play because when you've done a good round, sometimes everyone who is in that team will want to stay together. So we might get caught into a bit of a loop of playing with the same people for a little while. And Jack is very good, especially as the character Tracer. And it's just quite funny that when it's my turn, it's like, hello, everyone. Are you ready to see all of that go out the window as I attempt to fly Farah into a wall?
The thing is, you don't play as Tracer, though. So that's why I think people... They don't really notice it. Well, obviously we don't hear them, or we don't know what their reaction is, or even if they care to look at our account and go, "What is going on with them?"
It's a really great game. Even if you haven't played the game, there's loads of shorts. So if you're into animation and cartoons, there's loads of shorts online that you can watch about the characters, and even those, I think, standalone are really good because
they're mini films, aren't they?
Yeah, I watched that before I got into playing, so. They were really good. Yeah,
they sort of introduced the characters and what their abilities are in the shorts. And then they sort of explain the backstory. And we haven't got all of the backstory in it yet. I think someone's done a video about the chronological story of it all. I haven't watched that yet, actually, so I don't really know much about what's
Well, no,
really going
it's
on.
all to come.
But the actual game isn't centered around that. It's like, move this truck from point A to B. Stay on this point until your team, or keep your team on this point until the meter reaches 100%, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a simple premise, and that's why it's so addictive, I think.
And it's really like something that I really like is because I paint and make videos more than I do anything else.
Yes, you do.
In my spare time.
Yeah.
Aside from all the Jurassic work and all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to video games, like if it takes a lot for me to get fully invested into a big game with a story. I think the last one I did was Breath of the Wild. Yeah. But even then, how long did it take me to take down Ganon?
Yeah.
Well, I left it for months. The only thing I had really left to do
was to defeat Ganon.
So then I just sort of left it for ages. But then the one before that was probably Grand Theft Auto 5. I am currently going back through Alien Isolation at the moment.
I do not get the Grand Theft Auto games. I do not get them.
You haven't
And I know you really enjoy them.
No, you just...
And I know lots of people who really enjoy them. But I don't get it. It's just...
It's a stress ball. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's.
I just think when I could be like riding on the back of a horse through this amazing, like fantastical world with these weird creatures, and then a dragon appears overhead, or I can drive around fake LA in a car. Go for the dragon.
You got to play the story.
Yeah, this is it. I am judging something that I have not really tried to play.
You've only watched...
I am a changeable person. I was there like, I don't enjoy Overwatch. I think when now you can't get me off it.
Exactly. I think when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, I'm gonna have to get it because I always try and get the numbered Grand Theft Autos. Like not so much the mid ones. I think the last mid one I got was San Andreas, which is probably the second best game they ever released. I reckon I'll get you on Grand Theft Auto 6.
Watch the space, guys.
Yeah.
Watch the space. So, yeah. So, I think we're going to wrap some things up now. Mm-hmm. Mostly because I finished my tea.
Yeah.
And you know what, guys? You know what's going to happen after this podcast? Me and Jack are going to go and make another tea.
Yeah.
It's all we do.
Yeah.
Might have a nighttime one.
You're going to have a nighttime tea? I'm going to have a Earl Grey.
Very nice. Yeah. So, thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this more tea-orientated podcast. I'm going to be sticking with that, so I'm going to pick another tea to kind of, taste and test and discuss with you guys. So that's to come. If you can think of any teas that you think would be really good to try, especially any that are a bit more unusual that I might not have tried before, that would be amazing. Please let me know. You can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Instagram, and you can email me at podoftea@gmail.com. And please do I need to find out exactly what it is. I say this every week. The like and subscribe and the leave reviews and stars and all that sort of stuff. That would be amazing because it would be really nice to, spread the word of the podcast. So, hope you've had a nice time. Thank you very much for being on, Jack.
No worries.
I'm sure we'll have you on again.
Yep.
Woohoo! Great. See you soon, guys. Bye.